Hello everyone, I'm Debbie Polachek. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making a little thing to stick in your wallet that you would write down permanently, maybe passwords and all that. And we're going to be making a piece of designer series papers with a stamp set, a different color today. The cardstock I have here is soft seafoam. So I got Pool Party, Seaside Spray, Petal Pink, and Highland Heather. To make my pattern paper, I'm going to use regular computer paper to stamp on. And I'm going to set this on my grid paper and get a ruler out and a pencil. Put my ruler on the 2.5 inch mark here, and I'm going to mark it in a little spot 2.5 inch, 5 inch, and 7.5. So that now I'm going to move this down to 5 inches. Put this at 3/4 inch, 3 1/4. So this mark would need to be at 5 3/4, and 8 inches would be my next spot. To the 7.5 inch. This is 7.5 inches away from the edge, and I'm going to go again with the first numbers that I did before, and now I'm going to mark it at 2.5, 5, and 7.5 at the 10 inch mark. And we're going to do this one at 3/4 inch, at 3 1/4, at 5 3/4, and at 8. Now we got all our little, this is where the center of our flowers are going to be at in each one of those spots. Put my brightest color as the main color on this one, and it's going to be the Highland Heather. I'm going to use this stamp because it'll, actually it'd be pretty cool to use this stamp and this stamp. So I think I'm going to try that this time. I'm going to use the big one on Highland Heather, and I will do it on every other one. So I'm just going for the center of that to be inside of that center of that pencil mark. And I'll do the same thing here. And this one I'll turn the other way. I am using Pool Party on this smaller flower. This time I'll turn it up. As you can see, I need to continue with this on up one, and this is where the mark is at, right there at the end of the paper. So I'm going to just put where I think that area should be, right here, just like this one would be. It's the row before, and that mark is right in the center of that one. So that's about where it would be. And there. And this time the purple one is going down like this one. The center of that. Close to the end, center off. Okay. Now, should we do some more? Yes, we should. We should go ahead and put these probably on this side of this, because there's a lot of gap right there. I'm going to turn it the same way as this one and have it like the center is going off here. Okay. flower centers, I'm doing petal pink on the Highland Heather larger flowers, and on the smaller blue flowers, which are Pool Party, I'm doing the Highland Heather centers. The Seaside spray for the dark, these light ones here. These leaves were done with soft sea foam. I think I'm going to use the So Saffron Light for the inside of those leaves there, and the marker. Probably I want to still use some more of that pink somewhere for the leaves. Just go ahead and do some more leaves in the pink. Why not? Now this technique could be used on anything. You could use it on flowers. You could do it with anything. If you have like a certain pattern paper that you might want to make for a special reason, and you've got a stamp set and you just got some extra stamps, you might try it with almost anything. And the main thing is just to kind of pick your colors and let her rip. Practice on this. Typing paper is very cheap. You can practice, and then if you like it a lot and you want to make them cardstock, then you could go with that. So I would practice on small pieces, even on half of pieces, so you wouldn't have to spend so much time with different color combinations. It's a lot of fun, and do the same thing. Kind of, you could maybe put like if you're making butterflies, you could put butterflies instead of here. You could use the birds and twist the birds different direction. Any stamp, any pattern paper that you might need with stamps that you have. So good use for your stamps. And of course, you know, the solid stamps do make it faster, so you don't have to take the time to color things. But you know, don't necessarily have to be colored. It could just be, I've seen pattern paper just done with black ink on white paper. That's pretty too. So just be your own creator there. Closure on the front. White cardstock out now. This is on cardstock, not on the paper. Let's do it. And I'll be cutting those out to use for the closure front. I need a little scrap of paper for this, and this is cut at 1 1/4, and I cut it at 4 1/2 and trimmed it. So I'm going to do 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, this one I'm going to turn on either side and do my first score at 2 1/4. And then 2 1/2. I'm going to score this at 1 3/4 and 2 1/2. That way my quarter can do this little thing here. And I'm going to just hold this in the middle evenly on that line, and I will make a pencil mark around my quarter. Okay, I did that wrong. I need to go ahead and cut this one off too. Now this piece that I cut, I will put it on my scoreboard, and on the put it on the short side up, and then go ahead and score it at a 1/2 inch. Flip it around and score it a 1/2 inch again. And this will be my little binding here. Take that, take my bone folder, press that down real good. Same on the other line. Okay, I've got it on the long side. The first score is going to be 2 3/4. And remember to do it light. The next score line will be 5 1/2. The next score line will be 8 1/4. And we'll put the short side to the top and score it at 4 1/4. All the way down. Okay, I'm going to do that to the 2 pieces of cardstock. To do this next step, I'm going to be using a paper trimmer. At the 4 1/4 inch mark on the side here, I'll put my cutting blade up here. There's two little nicks right here on each side, and those would be on the sides of this first score line here. And I'm going to move it all the way up to the 3rd score line. Now I'm going to do that on all 3 pieces. The next thing I'll do is I'm going to take these 2 pieces, or actually all 3 pieces, and on one end I'm going to take my inch punch. Now you can do this with a 3/4 inch, whatever you want, and I'm going to go down about halfway on that punch and in between these 2 spots here, and go ahead and punch that. Okay, and one here, halfway between this score line and the edge, and almost halfway down in the middle of the circle here. Next, I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half this way. I'm going to do that on all 3 pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and give that a good scoring. The next thing you do is you're going to take it and flip it over there, this way. And give that a good score. I mean, a good, whatever they call this. Burnish. Burnish it. That's the word. Put glue all on these inner center ones here. Then I'm going to put glue all the way down here as well. The goal here is to get a thin line down both sides. So we'll go ahead and push this back together. Burnish it. Go ahead and fold that back. Burnish it. On this part here, I'm going to go ahead and glue this here on one side. That's good. Now what we'll do is we're going to cover these little circles here with each end. After you complete all your inserts, make sure all your tabs are at the top. The little tab openings there. This time we're going to glue on these edges to glue these all together, to stack them together. Now I'm going to take my reinforcement here, and I'm going to go ahead and be sure and glue all this real good right in here. And slide this over it and make sure that it's pressed down real good before I do anything else. So I'm going to hold this for a few minutes. Make sure I got good contact in the center of that. Okay, and as you can see, that's a little bit too long, and that's what I wanted, because I want to trim it to make sure that it's long enough. When I feel like this has made good contact, I'll go ahead and slide this up and do my glue in here. Okay, now I got to make sure my dots are up here. I mean, my little pull parts are there. Now I'm going to take this, and this is the back. I'm going to go ahead and glue this to my back. Now I'm going to get two little thin magnets. My little magnets are about 4 millimeters by 1 millimeter. And I'm going to go ahead and take one of them, some glue dots. I'll take one apart. I think I am. And I'm going to stick one that's sticky, that was stuck to the other one, and put my glue dot like it's a sandwich. And I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to let the other one fall on there. And put another glue dot on this side of it. And let that stick to there. Next, I'm going to take a little scrap of the same color here, a 3/4 inch circle. Now, if you didn't have a circle punch, you could use just a little square, I'm sure, over there, or even another little flower if you wanted to do that, a smaller flower. And I'm going to go ahead and stick glue all over the back of this. Yeah, that's where I want it. And I'm going to go ahead and work this. Once that glue kind of gets the cardstock wet, it will kind of give way, so I can go ahead and work this glue on here so it'll stick. Just embedding that magnet in there so it won't move on me. This takes a little while to do it, but it happens. Now you could use Velcro on here instead of the magnets if you have Velcro. As you can see, I'm just kind of working that around there. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with this. Work it around there. So I'm going to put glue all over this time. Now I'm going to slide these under here and put this wherever I think it might go. Okay, and I got little glues places I don't need it, so I'll just use that around there. These are nice little tools to have. Help get that glue off. I think it's called a glue eraser. By the way, I would appreciate any order that you place at my website. It's the link to my website is listed below. And if you want to join Stampin' Up, I would love to be to help you along the way. Or if you just want to, if you're kind of big on crafting and you order quite a bit, you might want to join just to save that 20%. So anyway, that's our little book. Now I'm going to cut some little white cardstocks to go inside of here, and I will cut those at 2 inches, probably about 4 inches. Let me try one and see if that's about right. There is room for 6 inserts. I hope you enjoyed the video and come back to see me again soon. Bye-bye for now.